Hello, once again, PokePeeps bringing you another PvP video on my way up the ranks using the team that actually got me the legendary status last season. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It is the same team, but it's a little different, so this is going to be a short introduction. First up is my Jellicent Jellicent. This was actually used in my last PvP video where I was starring a Whimsicott. But I absolutely love leading with Jellicent. I like to run Hex for the Great League because of the Deoxys and Hypno that you often see. It's also good against other Jellicent, and it hits neutral for the Azumarill. Bubble Beam is great for shield baiting. It feels so great getting a shield from a Bubble Beam attack when they're expecting a Shadow Ball. But yep, I love my Jellicent lead. It's not changing as of right now. Next up is my Ninetales. This Alolan Ninetales sports a really good PvP IV. You don't see these on the Ninetales very often because you tend to get them out of eggs or quests. This is a Ninetales I actually caught in the Safari Zone. That's why it has such great PvP IVs. But yeah, I used to run, Psycho Shock? Psyshock. Why am I saying Psycho Shock? Psyshock. I used to run Psyshock because it takes like really quick to charge up, but I decided to switch to Dazzling Gleam. It takes a little bit longer to charge, but Dazzling Gleam just proves to hit a lot of things, even things that resist the Fairy type. It hits them pretty hard. It might not hit like super hard, but hard enough where normally Ninetales would be getting no damage whatsoever on your opponent. So yeah, Powder Snow, Dazzling Gleam, Weather Ball. I always argue between the Powder Snow and Charm, but I like Powder Snow for the quick charge and the stab. Last but not least, we have my Medicham. Once again, his moveset has changed a little bit since last season. He's now running Psychic instead of Ice Punch. Because I'm running Alolan Ninetales, I figured I have the Ice type coverage pretty set, especially because I always end up running Powder Snow. Yeah, but I'm never going to give up Counter, I'm never going to give up Power-Up Punch. I love using Power-Up Punch, it's another great shield bait move. I charge up to a Psychic, instead use Power-Up Punch, I get the shield and an attack boost. And Power-Up Punch is one of those few moves where I know it's very okay to undercharge, simply because I am aiming to get that attack boost, not usually the KO. So this is the team that got me the Legendary last season. Let's see if it can get me to the next rank 23 this time. Let's go! First match of the day, let's go. Mantis Toboggan, South America? Okay. Alright, we are up against an Azumarill lead. See, this is one of those opportunities I like to run Hex instead of Bubble. Water resists water, so we'd be doing not very effective damage to each other, but because I'm running Hex, I'm doing neutral. So I charge up to the Shadow Ball, gonna fire the Bubble Beam, hope for a shield. Don't get the shield. They would have survived the Shadow Ball quite easily, so that's a good choice for them. But every once in a while I get the shield off the Azumarill, so it's always worth the shot. So I overcharge a little bit, let's see what we're running. A Hydro Pump. Normally you would see a Play Rough, but they're going Hydro Pump. That's not good at all. They're definitely gonna want to switch out this Azumarill. My Jellicent's got like a really big advantage here. Play Rough would at least be hitting me for neutral, but I resist Hydro Pump. So they do switch into a Skarmory. Okay, so I'm going to Bubble Beam it, and I am going to switch out. It's got that attack debuff, and there we go. Here comes the Ninetales. So being Steel Flying, Ice is only doing neutral, but Powder Snow Weather Ball is extremely, extremely spammy. I'm going to be able to fire Weather Ball after Weather Ball, and he is debuffed, so I'm not super afraid of the Brave Bird they're usually packing, so I'm not going to shield. And they decide just to fire a Sky Attack. I feel like he would have been able to charge up to a Brave Bird, but I don't know, maybe they decide to hold on to their energy? Okay, so here I'm even okay with Ninetales getting knocked out. But they actually use another Sky Attack. Like, maybe it's actually running Flash Cannon? That would make sense. I'm quad weak to Flash Cannon. Not sure what happened there, but I took full advantage. Alright, so Ninetales is doomed here, but I'm able to get to another Weather Ball just to do a little bit more damage. And they shield it! Oh, they might have thought I got to a Dazzling Gleam or something. Like, that was a pretty big mistake from my opponent. So yeah, I've already got a Shadow Ball lined up here. Gonna throw it. Down goes the Azumarill. Who's your last Pokemon? Shadow Machamp. Alright, Jellicent is a very good matchup for me against the Shadow Machamp. Very poor for them. Yeah, I didn't even need the shield that. I would have been fine. Gonna fire the Shadow Ball. I should have just fired the Bubble Beam. I'm fully expecting the shield. Yep. So I'm like, okay, let's see. Should I just finish it with Jellicent? No, I'm going to fire the Bubble Beam. But my HP is running down quite a bit. I'm like, I'm not going to give him that chance for energy. He's going to send out Medicham. He takes one look at the Medicham and he is out. Good first game. Second match up against Dan Boro. Yeah. Okay, so they're sending out Altaria. Okay, this is a matchup that I am destined to lose. Like, I win like maybe 1 out of 20 Altaria fights when they're the lead. The biggest draw is, am I running Ice Beam? And that's why I got that shield. Shadow Ball and Ice Beam charge up at the same time, so they never know if I am going to be using Ice Beam or Shadow Ball or Bubble Beam. So there's a very good chance I get the shield with the Altaria leads. So I'm able to get to the Shadow Ball now. But as I said, I'm still destined to lose this. It's just whether or not I get that shield advantage. So yes, I never make it to the Bubble Beam. Here comes the Sky Attack to finish me off. And Ninetales comes to revenge knockout. But they get out of there. They want nothing to do with my Ninetales. They really wanted to hold on to him. So I charge up to the Weather Ball, switch into my Medicham. Now, Excavalier here can know Aerial Ace. I really don't want that. Yep, good thing I shield. So I charge up almost to the Psychic. Sometimes it's enough to fool people, sometimes not. But I'm still going to fire the Power-Up Punch. They don't shield. I get that boost. Being a Steel Bug type, the Fighting type move Power Punch will only be doing neutral. I shield this other Aerial Ace because sometimes I can just sweep an entire team with 2 or 3 Power Punches. And here I undercharge. There's no point in actually knocking out the Excavalier with the Power Punch. I'd much prefer getting some energy. Yep, there's my energy. I might actually be able to knock out this Altaria before it gets to the Sky Attack because I've boosted myself so much. It's a good thing I undercharged, so I had enough energy to fire that Power-Up Punch. Yeah, undercharging might have been what helped me take out the Altaria. So, okay, yeah, we have a Jellicent in the back. That's not good at all. I think I really should have faked the Power-Up Punch. Yeah, because they do shield this. Don't get the lucky defense drop, so that's a bummer. Ooh, I was really hoping to get to that Psychic somehow, just praying, but there was no luck there. Down goes my Medicham, but I still have my Ninetales. It still has a lot of energy. Like, fingers crossed I'm able to do this somehow. Like I said, Dazzling Gleam hits for a pretty good amount of damage. Let's see what I can do. Here comes the Dazzling Gleam. Super easy to pop those bubbles and get an excellent. I'm actually able to take a big chunk of Jellicent's HP off, and I'm able to get to the Weather Ball just before he could fire his Shadow Ball. I'm guessing that was a Shadow Ball Ice Beam. If he was running Bubble Beam, he probably could have taken the game there. Good match, though. Very good match. Next match, up against the Spinoff. Okay, a lot of interesting names tonight. So they're starting with a Skarmory. Well, this could really go either way. You never know if they're going to fire the Brave Bird or if they're just going to keep faking me out with Sky Attack. But you know how I do, fam. I'm going to charge up to the Shadow Ball. I'm going to fire the Bubble Beam. See if I get that shield. I do not. But as always, the attack debuff will greatly help. So what's it going to be? A Sky Attack. Yeah, it didn't look like he charged up quite enough for the Brave Bird yet. So now I'm going to start firing my Shadow Balls. I would love to get to another Shadow Ball, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get to a Sky Attack before that. So I'm going to have some hope in Bubble Beam. Nope. Here comes the Sky Attack to finish off my Jellicent. I might be able to hold on. Oh no, he got to a Brave Bird. Okay, so I'm going to be able to revenge knockout pretty easily. Send out the Medicham. Oh, okay, a Swampert. So whatever else is back there probably doesn't want to see my Medicham. But I can hit this Swampert for a bunch of neutral damage. I get the shield with the power-up punch, faked it out from charging up to a Psychic. I'm going to shield too. I fully believe something back there doesn't want to see my Medicham. So I'm going to keep power-up punching, get these counters way up there. Shadow Swampert is the glassiest of glass cans, so it's not going to be able to handle these counters very well. Yep, throwing up the last of my shields, really taking a gamble here. Oh, it is a Galarian Stunfisk. Okay, my hunch was correct. There was a Steel type back there that is painfully weak to these counter power-up punches. Even if he gets to an Earthquake, he's not going to quite knock me out. He's going to get close, but he's not going to be there. Meanwhile, my counters are going to knock this Galarian Stunfisk out real quick. I'm able to get to this other power-up punch. Does not matter if he uses his shield or not. He decides to use it. Down goes the Stunfisk. My Medicham is still standing. That's mostly thanks to how weak Mudshot is. Mudshot gives great energy, but does no damage. Alright, we are 3 for 3. Let's go. Fourth match up against Addic. Continuing the great name night. Alright, horrible matchup for me. There's nothing Jellicent can do to Umbreon. I'm going right into my Alolan Ninetales. I could have went into Medicham, but I like going into the Alolan Ninetales, holding on to the Medicham for any Steel types. So they sent out Venusaur in retaliation, which was definitely just like a super big reflex. Venusaur could totally take me out with a Sludge Bomb, just like there. It's a good thing I shielded, but I can totally take out Venusaur with my Weather Balls. So it just becomes, who's going to charge up faster? The answer is my Ninetales. So Venusaur can charge up to a Frenzy Plant pretty much the same rate as I can get to a Weather Ball, but not Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb requires just a tiny bit more energy, so I actually have the advantage here. I'm gonna have to give up my shields to do so, but I keep the switch advantage, and sometimes that's super important. Okay, they had a Azumarill back there, so it's a good thing I did this. Medicham and Azumarill would have won that very easily. I'm able to get a Dazzling Gleam, and as you can see, it took nearly half the Azumarill's health, while Psyshock would have not done that at all. Why is that? Because Dazzling Gleam not only hits hard, it also has Stab, which is same type attack bonus. So yeah, okay, that was running Hydro Pump. So it's probably Hydro Pump Ice Beam. They quickly switch to Umbreon, expecting my Jellicent, so I send out Medicham. Here comes the power-up punches. So, Foul Play is actually doing neutral damage to me, but not doing so much damage compared to other Foul Play users. Umbreon is more of a wall rather than like a cannon. So it's so almost even here, with the difference being that I'm buffing myself every time I use my move, and they're staying the same. So that's why Medicham is doing so well right now. Am I gonna take it out? There we go, and I'm able to take it out with some energy left. Am I gonna be able to get to that Psychic? Yep. Medicham is going to take this game for me. Jellicent hardly needed to do a thing. Great fourth match, 4 for 4, alright. Last match of the night, up against Jeebs 8989. Alright, at least Jeebs sounds like a name. Alright, up against a Shadow Swampert. Love this. Bubble would have been fine on Jellicent for that matchup too. Oh, but they sent out Venusaur, so I'm bringing out my Ninetales, just like last time. We're going to be able to charge up practically at the same time, but my Ninetales will have a slight advantage. Yep, they go to the Sludge Bomb. I'm going to my Weather Ball. Do not mind how many shields I have to burn, and neither did they. So the difference here is they have that Shadow Swampert. So the Shadow Swampert is probably running Sludge Wave, which would knock out my Ninetales like in one move very easily. So I'm going to try to ping some damage with the Weather Ball. They actually shielded. I wasn't expecting that. But the Weather Ball from my Alolan Ninetales probably would have taken like half health. Swampert is not that bulky, and it's even worse Shadow. I'm actually able to get to a Weather Ball before Ninetales gets knocked out, so that is fantastic. Yep, took about half the health. Now, so you know who's coming out, it's Jellicent. And they send out a Skarmory in retaliation. So I am going to Bubble Beam. This isn't like the best matchup because I have Medicham back there, but my fighting type moves are actually going to be doing neutral to it because it's Flying Steel. So my plan is to try and weaken it with some Bubble Beams before sending out the Medicham. Like Sky Attack and Brave Bird still, like, I wouldn't want touching my Medicham, but at least the Air Slashes wouldn't be racking up as much damage as they should be. So I'm actually charging up to the Shadow Ball. Since they haven't been shielding yet, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll take the risk. I'll fire a Shadow Ball. They don't shield, so okay. Maybe I'm not going to need the Medicham after all? They use a Sky Attack. I send out Medicham to be sure, and they actually send out Swampert. So what this does is actually it gets rid of the debuffs on the Skarmory, but they see where the game is going. My Medicham will have knocked that Skarmory out. Good game, and I get a 5 for 5. How is that? And this should get me to Expert rank because my rating was 2749. And how appropriate that my encounter was a legendary Pokemon. I've been getting the legendary out of PvP regularly. Yep, there's the 3XL candies, fantastic. So yes, there I go to expert level, and like I shoot up there. I go 70 points over because I was literally 1 point away anyway. So anyway, yeah, this is the team that got me to Legend rank last season, and it might just get me to Legend rank this time. We are about to have a cup where they are banning some of the most used Pokemon, such as Venusaur, Azumarill, Marowak, things that my team genuinely doesn't like that much. Oh yeah, Galarian Stunfisk will be leaving, but I was always fine with Galarian Stunfisk. So expect another PvP video to see how my legend making team does with them. In the meantime, go check out the previous video where I made legend. Maybe check out the last video where Jellicent was leading with the Whimsicott Charmer. But as always, trainers, happy hunting!